Hi, and welcome to this little quiz on time signatures. A lot of people are very happy with time signatures, so it might be quite an easy thing for some people to do. For other people, it might be a handy little revision on the subject. For other people who've got things about time signatures that freak them out, here's an opportunity to see if we can sort some of your woes out. So, little light-hearted quiz which you can play along with and score yourself out of 10 if you wish, or if you just want to enjoy the video, absolutely fine. Okay, so here's question number 1. What does the upper number mean in this time signature? So there's the time signature. Time signatures have two numbers, don't they? An upper number and a lower number. So here's the first question. What does the upper number mean in 3/4? So have a little think about that, scribble down the answer if you want to, and we'll move on to question 2. All the answers will be revealed at the end. Okay, so that's the first one. Now the second question is, what does the lower number mean in this time signature? 2, 2. So again, two numbers. What does the lower number mean in this time signature? So I'm not asking you what do lower numbers in general mean. I'm asking you specifically, what does that 2 mean as the lower number in the time signature? That's 2, 2. Okay, so that's the second question. Here comes question 3. What is wrong with this time signature? What is wrong with this time signature? Okay, on we go then to question 4. And in question 4, I'm asking you, what does this sign mean? If you have that sign at the beginning of a piece of music, what does it mean? Okay, that's question 4. Here comes question 5. If it's not quite that sign, but it's this sign, what does that mean? So question 5, what does that sign mean? Okie dokie. Let us now move on to question 6. I'm going to write 4 time signatures on the board. One of them is what we call a compound time signature. So which one of these is a compound time signature? So here's the first one. So do you think that's a compound time signature? 3, 4. Here's the next one. 9, 8. Do you think that's a compound time signature? Here's the next one. 2, 2. Do you think that's a compound time signature? And here's the last one. 4, 8. Do you think that is a compound time signature? So one of those is a compound time signature. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? 1 in 4 chance there. Or phone a friend, ask the audience, see if you can come up with an answer to that question. Okay, onwards and upwards. We're now question 7. Have a look at this time signature. 5, 4. Here's the question. Is this a simple time signature? Is it a compound time signature? Or is it an irregular time signature? Is it a simple time signature, a compound time signature, or an irregular time signature? So that is question 7. Okay, now in question 8, I'm going to write a bar of music and ask you to tell me what the correct time signature is for this bar. So here comes the bar. What is the time signature that I should write for that bar? That is question 8. Okay, let's move on to question 9. Same question again with a different arrangement of notes. What is the correct time signature for this bar? Bear with me while I just write this out. So there we have it. What is the correct time signature for this bar? Okay. And as the tension mounts, we move on to our last question, question 10. What is the full meaning of this time signature? The full meaning of this time signature. 3/16. Okay, well, when you're satisfied that you've got an answer to each of these 10 questions, I'm going to give you the answers. See how you get on. Give yourself a mark out of 10 if you want to play the quiz. Okay, recap then. Question 1, what does the upper number mean in the time signature 3/4? Well, the upper number means that there are 3 beats in each bar. 3 beats in each bar. Question 2, what does the lower number mean in 2/2 as a time signature? Well, the lower number is telling us that the beats are minim beats. Okay, so the upper number is telling us basically how many of something there are in a bar, and the lower number is telling us what those somethings are. Okay, question 3, I asked you to tell me what was wrong with a time signature, and I gave you 6/4, and I wrote it like this, 6/4. Well, of course, the thing that's wrong with this is this line here. Nothing wrong with the numbers. So if you thought that that was some kind of weird or illegal time signature or something, that's not the answer. The answer is that you shouldn't have that line in the middle because that looks like a fraction, 6/4. So when we write a time signature, we don't write a line between the upper and the lower numbers. It's a common mistake. Lots of people do it. So there we are. That's what was wrong with that. Question 4, what does C mean? C stands for common time, and it means that the time signature is 4/4, 4/4. It's sort of the most common time that there is. So to save yourself writing 4/4, 4/4, 4/4 at the start of every instrument of the orchestra on a score, you can just go C, C, C. Common time, 4/4. What about question 5? That was the same sign, the C, with this sort of vertical line down the middle of it. And that's what we call cut common time. Think of it this way. The line sort of cuts the C in half. So if C stands for 4/4, when you cut it in half, cut those two numbers in half, you get 2/2. So it's what we call cut common time. And it means 2/2. Question 6 was which of these is a compound time signature, and I gave you 4 options. The answer is B, 9/8 is a compound time signature. 3/4 is a simple time, that was option A. 2/2 is a simple time, that's option C. 4/8 was option D, that might have caused a few people to have a wobble, but that's still a simple time. So 3/4, 2/2 and 4/8 are simple times. The 9/8 is the compound time signature. And if you're not sure about this business of simple and compound time, have a look at the Music Matters website where you can find full explanations of all of that in our theory series. Okay, question 7. Is 5/4 a simple time signature, a compound time signature, or an irregular time signature? The answer is it's an irregular time signature. 5 beats in a bar is irregular. So if it's simple time, you always have 2, 3 or 4 as the upper number. If it's compound time, you always have 6, 9 or 12 as the upper number. If you have anything else, it's going to be some kind of irregular. So 5/4, quite a common irregular time signature. Okay, question 8 was what was the correct time signature for this bar? Let's have it up on the board again. it looks like this. And I wonder what you came up with for this. I'll give you the right answer first. It is 6/8. Now, I think some people might have written 3/4, and you might be wanting to argue with me now, because you might think, well, 6/8 means there are 6 quavers in a bar. 3/4 means there are 3 crotchets in a bar, or let me just put that in American language. 3/4 would be 3 quarter notes. 6/8 would be 6/8 notes. So isn't it the same thing? Well, yes, it is mathematically. Musically, it's not the same thing, because this is kind of one group of notes. This is one group of notes. And so that group throws up that, this group throws up this. So it's got kind of 2 dotted crotchet beats in a bar, or 2 dotted quarter notes in a bar. Had that been in 3/4, it would look like this. You would have these quavers organised over here, and then you can see that you've got the first crotchet beat there, the second crotchet beat there, the third crotchet beat there, or the quarter note beats. So the rhythm isn't different, but the way it's beamed, grouped together, is different, and the way it feels musically is different, because this feels da da ya ba ba in 6/8, but in 3/4 it feels da yum bum bum bum. So even though the rhythm's the same, the stresses, the beats come in different places. So it has a very different kind of musical feel. So it wasn't just about the maths. It was partly about the maths, but it was also about how are the notes organised, how they're grouped or beamed together, and how does that tell us what the time signature is. 9 was what was the correct time signature for this bar, and this is another little teaser. So we had a lot of quavers, didn't we, or 8th notes. So let's put these back again. And I wonder what you came up with for this one, because mathematically there are various possibilities. I suspect what a lot of people have done here is to say, well, they're all quavers, or they're all 8th notes, so let's start by counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then they'll have said, right, that's easy. There are 12 of those in the bar. Mathematically, entirely correct. Musically, not correct. Because 12/8 should look like this. It's a compound time, what we call a compound quadruple time. And so when you are in a compound time, you organise the basic things that you're counting into groups of 3. So it throws up 1, 2, 3, 4 beats. So 12/8 is what we call a compound quadruple time. Rhythm exactly the same, but it looks different, doesn't it? Because of the way things are beamed together to reflect the beat. So even though 12/8 is a mathematical possibility, it's not a musical possibility. Now then, if you're a bit stuck with this, the thing to do is to double or halve the numbers. So I could double up and go 24/16, but that seems like some big numbers. Could I halve those numbers? Could I do 6/4? Must be a mathematical possibility, because if there are 12 of these, it also means there are 6 of these. Does that look like 6/4? Not really. 6/4 would look like this. It's a compound tuple time, and it would have 2 beats that look like that. So that doesn't look like that. So it's not 6/4. Well, what happens if we halve the numbers again? 3, 2. And that is the correct answer. Why is it the correct answer? 3 minim beats on a bar. Look at each of these groups. 1 minim, 2 minims, 3 minims. So it's throwing out 3 minim beats in a bar, or 3 half note beats in a bar. So it's not just the maths, it's also how the notes are beamed together. And this beaming thing causes a lot of grief, and lots of people wonder why on earth they have to bother about it. But you can begin to see why it's important, because it will feel different in those 3 different time signatures, even though fundamentally the rhythm is the same. But 3-2 is the correct answer. Okay, and the last question, question 10. What was the full meaning of this time signature 3/16? Well, 3 is telling us the 3 of something in a bar. 16 is telling us that those somethings are semiquavers or 16th notes. So 3 semiquavers in a bar or 3 16th notes in a bar. So that's going to look like that. Not the most common time signature in the world, but these things do sometimes come up. So I wonder how you got on with our time signature quiz. It's a good opportunity, isn't it, to think, yeah, great, actually I've got time signatures, I know what I'm doing with those, or to say, I'm not very happy about this at all, or to say I've got some of this, but I'm not quite sure about all this compound stuff or irregular stuff. So if you do want to know more about it, have a look on our website, Music Matters, and you'll find in the theory courses we've got lots of stuff about time signatures, which would really clarify this for you. Very essential stuff to be clear about if you're a musician, a practical musician as a performer or a composer. But I hope you did okay with the time signature quiz.